What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about Gabe Vilardi and injuries as a whole in this video. But yeah, Gabe Vilardi been missing for a few games now, went down with an injury against the New York Rangers a few weeks ago, did not look very good. It was his leg. Scott O'Neill just said, it was a freak injury. He wouldn't allude to exactly what it was. It was lower body. Someone found it on Twitter. I can't show the clip because the NHL is going to immediately demonetize the video. But essentially, his leg just got tied up weird and, kind of fell funny. Didn't look great. And O'Neill seemed upset. There were reports that the Jets weren't, scared about Vilardi playing in the playoffs. They were pretty confident that he was going to be playing. And, that's just kind of been the status at this point. But, given Scott O'Neill's most recent update on the guys that are hurt, like Neil Pionk, who he said, is, in the gym, and then the following day after that quote, he was beginning to skate. About Vilardi, he said he's not even close to getting in the gym. Well, Scott, we are extremely close to the playoffs, and, if he's not even in the gym yet, is he going to be ready for it? I don't think he is. So, that's worrying enough. We'll see if Gabe does come back this season. There was a report that came out on TSN. John Liu, had reported that Gabe Vilardi was done for the regular season and likely out for the postseason. And a lot of people were scratching their heads. This was directly after the Scott O'Neill quote saying that, it was a freak injury and he wouldn't talk about it. And then that video got wiped off the face of the earth. That video got deleted off the TSN website. To my knowledge, it never aired on TV. And that was it. There was no more news about Gabe Vilardi being out for the year. So we were all thinking, oh, John Liu must have gotten, bad information or something. That's great news. Happy that wasn't true, but now now that we look at it here, we're getting closer and closer to the playoffs. Only a couple weeks out here, less even, and I don't know. I don't think he's going to be ready for Game 1 of the playoffs. And this just makes it even more important for the Jets to win the Central, because if Gabe Vilardi is going to be out until round 2, the Jets need to be playing a team that maybe isn't as good as the Colorado Avalanche, right? Maybe they, would be better off playing the Minnesota Wild, winning, in 5 or 6, assuming the Jets win that series. I think that, they're definitely favored in that. And then have some rest before playing the Stars or playing the Colorado Avalanche, and then maybe get Gabe Vilardi back at that time. So, very important that the Jets win the Central. 3 points up on Dallas as I make this video. 5 games remaining for each team. I really hope the Jets are able to pull this out. Gabe's been having a monster year this year, obviously, career year in pretty much all categories. 71 games played, 61 points. The guy has been a beast, playing on that top line with Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor. Alex Iafallo has slotted in well. However, come the playoffs, the Jets are a little thin now, with the top 6 talent. Al Iafallo has gone up to the first line. He's looked very good. I've really liked Iafallo, in an elevated role, but it just hasn't been, the same impact that Vilardi brings, on the special teams. Just normally 5-on-5. While Iafallo was a great player, and I really like that line, come playoff time, you would really like to see Gabe Vilardi there. Now, this isn't the first big injury that Gabe has had since joining the Jets, or in his career at that. Injury prone already coming to the Jets, but an MCL injury that kept him out long term early in his Jets tenure. A spleen problem, which was really bizarre. I believe it was an enlarged spleen. Not just something weird. And then a freak injury here with the Rangers, just kind of falling weird. Guy just doesn't seem to have any luck. I'm hoping that he's okay and is able to return quickly here. But, something to monitor, especially with his contract being up at the end of the year. He is a restricted free agent, so the Jets do have his rights, obviously. But I do wonder if that cuts in a little bit of the money that he's going to be making this summer. Now, another thing I want to touch on is injuries as a whole, because obviously it sucks when you're down 1 top 6 forward. Sucks even more when you're down 2, as Nick Ehlers has, gone down with the injury, taking a block shot from Cole Perfetti inside of the knee. He was questionable to play Saturday against Utah, did not, And the Jets looked pretty rough that game. You know, it just didn't seem like it was their night in general, but there was a lot of things that weren't great. But you could definitely see how much they missed the impact of a player like Nick Ehlers. Now, on the flip side, I think Gabe Vilardi's contract demand might have to go down a little bit because of injuries. With Ehlers, I think it went up because, you know, you see what the team looks like without him. And, you know, that's really all that I think I have to say there. Nick Ehlers deserves to get paid this offseason, and I really hope it's by the Jets. We'll see what happens. But come playoff time, the Jets have to stay healthy. That is the key for them. They have to stay as healthy as possible. And, you know, if there is an injury that happens in the top 6, you know, guys are going to have to step up. And, you know, we've seen them do it at times this season, but it has to happen more consistently because these other teams, they are a little bit deeper on paper than, you know, the Jets. Weren't able to add that top 6 addition at the trade deadline. And, you know, now you just have to really hope that there are no top 6 injuries. I really like their depth in the bottom 6, the forward core, but in the top 6 of that forward core, they have to stay healthy, or as healthy as possible down the road here. But that's really all I got today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, as always. I just wanted to touch on this one because no one really seems to be talking about Gabe Vilardi right now. No one's really saying a word about it, so I just wanted to give my 2 cents on what I think could possibly be happening. I hope he's able to return, you know, ASAP here for the Jets. I'd love to see him in round 1, but I'm not really certain if that's what we're going to be seeing. So we'll have to see what happens in the coming days, but hopefully Gabe is able to return at some point this season. But yeah, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below what you guys think about the Jets, you know, and their injury problems. But yeah, let me know. See you guys in the next one. Go Jets, go. Bye-bye.